So I just hopped back on World of Warcraft after a week-long vacation, and there's just a whole lot more in the game to talk about now. I hopped on over to the PTR and noticed that the 10.1 patch was available, and one of the coolest things I found was that all the new tier sets have been released and available to view. So we will talk about those really quickly today, and throughout the video I'll talk about my upcoming 12-hour live stream Collectathon, which is coming up on April 1st from 10 a.m. Central Time to 10 p.m. Central Time. At the end of the video I'll reveal one mount we are going to be going after during the stream and some more details there. So the way this is going to work is we're going to start with the plate wearing classes, then mail, leather, and cloth. So first up we have the warrior, and I'm super stoked about this set. All of the colors on it look great. I particularly like the heroic color and the mythic color. I mean, the black and red of heroic is just so cool. And when we go over to mythic, you'll see this beautiful white set. The all-white set, which just looks awesome. A lot of the sets I've realized are either going to be white or purple. The Raid Finder is okay. As always, Raid Finder is usually one of the worst looking armor sets, probably on purpose, but some of them do look cool on other classes. Hey there, Rotan here. I make to-the-point videos about World of Warcraft, helping people obtain collectibles, cosmetics, and mounts that they want easily and quickly. If that sounds like a fun time, subscribe. After the warrior is the Death Knight, a set in which I fairly enjoy what it looks like, but compared to some other Death Knight sets, this might not be the strongest one. Death Knights usually have pretty strong sets, but the heroic black and red looks great. It's probably the best looking one in my opinion. The mythic one with its kind of purple color scheme, purple and white, isn't really doing it for me, but it is fairly cool. But I think the heroic set looks the best overall. I'm happy about that because Death Knights are super strong and I run heroic raids. The Raid Finder set is okay. It's actually better than the warrior Raid Finder set. After that is Paladin, the final plate wearing class, in which I was hoping this would be kind of a revamp of the Judgment set. Just seeing the normal one here. The heroic one is pretty cool. I was hoping Mythic would really bring back that like black and red and gold of the Judgment set, because it kind of looks similar, but instead we get this white and purple, which is alright. Not my favorite Paladin set either, but it does look very good overall. The Raid Finder set is actually pretty decent, but once again, the weakest of them all. So that concludes the plate wearing sets, and we're on to mail armor now, starting with the Shaman. The normal set looks alright. The heroic set, definitely much better. I like the red and black type of accents that are coming out in all heroic sets. In Mythic, once again, we're returning to this white and purple look that we've seen with the Death Knight, we've seen with the Paladin, and now the Shaman. Warrior was the only one that had this kind of monochrome Mythic set so far, but we'll see more of that later. Raid Finder is certainly the weakest for Shaman. Now moving on to Evoker, keep in mind this set, as you can see, is kind of half done. The belt is supposed to be down there, one of the shoulders is missing a particle effect, but this normal set looks super cool overall with the black and red. The heroic set actually looks worse in my opinion. The colors just don't match the same way they did on heroic. They kind of seem to be strangely aligned. Mythic is not done at all, but you can see that it's going to be kind of this black set from what I can tell. The Raid Finder set is pretty neat. What we see here, even though I don't like the colors, is that the shoulders are actually supposed to have different colored particle effects. We'll probably see that more once they fix the rest of the sets. Now, trying to view it on a Dracthyr model doesn't really give us anything. The Hunter set is okay. Compared to some other Hunter sets in the past, the first thing I noticed is we have a huge pauldron, and the rest of it is alright. The heroic set, I think, takes the cake on this one again. I really just like this black and red color scheme that seems to fit really well with the designs that they've gone for. Now the Mythic set, I take it back, is certainly the coolest set on the Hunter. This deep black with this bright cyan is just awesome. The particle effect coming out of the shoulder is great. Raid Finder, as always, is but okay. Now we're going to move on to the leather sets. Now we have the Demon Hunter set, which I think overall is pretty strong. The normal one looking really cool. The heroic one with its deeper colors is also pretty neat. This kind of deep blood red with this kind of blackish red, brown, maroon going on is pretty awesome. Mythic set seems pretty weak in my opinion. I think overall across the board for this tier, Mythic sets aren't really hitting like they usually do for me. Raid Finder set is actually pretty strong on the Demon Hunter in my opinion. After that, we're moving on to Druid, now the second leather class we have here, which is just a really neat looking set, though I think the colors aren't my favorite. This one's alright. The heroic one I think is the coolest. Black and red color schemes, you really can't go wrong. What I do like about the Mythic set, even though the colors aren't my favorite, is the particle effects like the moon that's in the crescent of the antlers. The Raid Finder set is pretty meh on this one, pretty low tier in my opinion. For the Monk, I really like the normal set probably the best. Once again, it's just black and red, but it looks really nice, and I noticed that the arm guards and shoulders are this like, it looks like jade, especially on the heroic set. It has this real gemstone look. Mythic set is pretty strong compared to the other Mythic sets we've seen. Finally, we have a look at the Raid Finder, which is alright. The Rogue sets, which is what's coming up next, I'm always excited to see these because these are always one of my favorites now, but I actually think this is, while super cool, maybe not one of the strongest ones. The mask definitely looks like Shredder from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, definitely giving me that vibe. The Heroic set, it just reminds me a lot of Bloodfang, the tier 2 set, which is one of the most coveted sets, so I'm really enjoying that so far. And this kind of purplish Mythic sets just aren't really hitting it for me. I wish they were darker or more vibrant, one of the two. But the particle effect, as you can see, is pretty neat. And I think this Raid Finder set, while it's a Raid Finder set, is so monochrome, people are just going to love this and go for it. And last but not least, we're moving on to our cloth armor sets. The Priest set is coming out with just a super strong set that I was not expecting. These awesome wings, these awesome color schemes, that normal color scheme really giving me the Judgment vibes from the Paladin tier 2 set. Man, I love the headpiece on here. I love the wings and how they have this claws effect. This Mythic set is just great. Compared to a lot of the other Mythic sets, or just sets in general we've seen, Priest is really taking the cake here. Even the Raid Finder set looks like Tyrael from Diablo. I mean, Priest is just taking it away on this one. Mage overall I found to be a pretty weak set. I'd probably, if I was going to do a tier list in the future, this would rank pretty low. I do understand that some of these particle effects aren't working, but none of the color schemes are really hitting for me. None of the palettes are really adding up. We have an unfinished Mythic set, so really, maybe that's going to come out to be looking really cool. And the Raid Finder actually seems to be the strongest here, especially because I'm a Nightborn. This looks very Nightborn Mage. Warlock sets are always one of my favorites to look at. They never go wrong with a Warlock set. Same thing here. Really love the headpiece and how it looks like this dragon skull. Same with the shoulder pads, and once again the black and red of the Heroic just taking it away. The purple on a Warlock makes perfect sense, so I think this is actually the one that I enjoy the most. Even Raid Finder is good here. So that's all 13 armor sets in all difficulties. Let's talk a little bit about this live stream that's coming up on April 1st from 10 a.m. Central to 10 p.m. Central. It'll be right here on YouTube, and the mount that I'm announcing that we're going after is the Divine Kiss of Onara. Now that's only one of many mounts we're going to be going after in this event. There's 12 hours worth of it. There's going to be trading post stuff, a lot of other fun things going on. So please tune in if you want to join that and get some mounts with us, speedrun the trading post, and have a general good time. The Collectathon event is only 2 weeks away, and I'll continue to release details and plans for it in future videos leading up to the event. Mark your calendars, April 1st, 10 a.m. Central to 10 p.m. Central, right here on my channel on YouTube. Thanks for watching, and take care.